Welcome back, survivors! I'm the SurvivalVis, and we return to Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. So last episode, I did fail at the any port in a storm exercise. We're not going to go in, I'm not going to try it again. Because of the conflicts with the Forgotten and GEP or other stuff that was going on, I feel like the best way to play Jurassic Park Operation Genesis is actually vanilla or only retexture mods. Trying to put on too many, there's so many conflicts, and even the modder, or the person who commented the suggestions about these mods, they had more modifications to their games and value changes to change up the experience for it. So what I was recommended actually wasn't tested just in there, you pick up and put in your game state. So I don't want to go and have a completely custom type of game that I don't know the modifications or changes to list. So all we're going to do to end out our time with JPOG is probably hop into Site B, see if we can show off any of the other dinosaurs from the Forgotten mod we didn't really take a look at, and just end the week off a little bit easier. If you're going to play Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, don't try to milk too much time out of it, just go in until you've had your fun with it, and when you start feeling that wane, it's probably best just to move on. If you really do want Jurassic Park experience, definitely look at Jurassic World or Jurassic World Evolution or Evolution 2. Because those games have much more stability to them, and modding is a lot more complex and probably not as prone to crashing or issues like we saw here. But let's hop into Site B and see about making something. Well, let's do a lot of rivers. Yeah, let's do big shape, so we have a lot of room to start. And a lot of mountains or few mountains. Let's do a lot of mountains. Like, there's some valleys or stuff. So we'll just let that start, let it generate. And I'll see if I can get some dinosaurs plunked out and just, like, get a preview of the ones we didn't see while we were playing through the series. As nice as it was to have more species onto the roster for JPOG,
it's good to know you're keeping an eye on things.
We'll start right over here. See if we can kind of put the hatchery... Yeah, we'll see if we can kind of put it, like, up here, tucked away into the mountainside a little bit. As nice as it was to have more dinosaurs in the roster to be able to put out and add to a park, they had a lot of issues. Like, some things were kind of neat, like the Velociraptors and the Tyrannosaurus being right against each other. Okay, so we got Gallimimus. Let's get a few Ornithomimus, because we didn't see those at all. You know, we'll get those out. I'll see about placing down maybe a couple hatcheries, just that way we speed this up.
It's good to see you.
But yeah, where was I before that? Like, it was neat to see the interaction between the Velociraptors and the Rexes for that one exercise going at each other so much. But then, when we did Port in the Storm, we had, again, like, the Baryonyx and the Indominus Rex had frozen in place and were almost like their program stopped responding. The pathfinding on the AI is really weird. As much as we had some things placed down around paths, they wouldn't actually go off into the buildings to try stuff out. And then the pricing was also another thing we couldn't really do much about. I don't think we had any Chasmosauruses, so we'll see about getting some of those out. So this was Ornithomimus. Basically looks like, I think, just a retexture on the Gallimimus, although the skeleton... It might be a modified Dryosaurus skeleton, because you can see it's pretty janky at the neck there. So I think that's what those guys were like a model edit with. And we got Chasmosaurus here. This guy actually doesn't look too bad. I don't think the model... Well, behind the frill you can see a few issues there. But yeah, depending on your angle, this one's actually not too bad for, like, how it fits with JPOG and that. The Forgotten was from a time where... Well, I don't know if JPOG ever actually reached the point where they could have, like, imported new models all that well. I think a lot of what had to be done because of how the coding in the engine worked is JPOG could only kind of, like, allow some edited models or stuff like that. Either that, or just because the experience of Mars at the time, that was, like, the start of what they could handle or do. I don't know what that was. Sounded like a pig. Okay, what else? The Celosaurus is one we've not seen before. I don't even think we found fossils for it, to be honest. Yeah, Okay, it's the Chasmosauruses that have, like, the weird pig sound effect. What else we got? Kentrosaurus was part of... Oh, here's one. Pinoclosaurus. Looks like it might be an ankylosaurid. Okay, so you're another one that uses the Dryosaurus skeleton, I'm pretty sure, although much less jank than the Ornithomimus had to it. Depending on like how the head turns, you can see the neck and the model kind of stretch and twist as it shouldn't. But yeah, it's neat to see some of these. Oh, there it is. Pinoplosaurus. Okay, you're a bit more of a janky one. I think his mouth is going to be perpetually stuck open. You can kind of see where it was a modified Kentrosaurus skeleton, because you have, like, a few little lines, if it's backdropped by the model just right, where the spikes were. Like, even along the back, there's a couple of lines of where the Kentrosaurus stuff was. I've never heard of this dinosaur before. I guess maybe it's an early ankylosaur. Just because, again, the way, I mean, it does use the Stegosaurus skeleton, but just the way the back sort of is texture-wise, that leads me to that idea. And that's all of our small herbivores. So now we're going to be into the large herbivores. We've seen Stegosaurus before. Well, Herosaurus is one that we have not seen. So we'll get some of them out. Ankylosaurus we've seen, Parasaur we've seen, Trike we've seen, Brachiosaurus we've seen. I will get the Apatos. Maybe we'll just make this, like, go through all of the forgotten roster. Since we, like, depending on which exercise it was, we did see a few species. Like, the Apatosaurus I think I had in the Jurassic Classic one. There you are. Yeah, this is actually one of the modelettes I think is really well done looking at it. There are kind of like a little bit of specks of where the Stegosaurus plating were, because it basically is just a Stegosaurus, but they kind of trimmed down the plates on the back to give it this appearance. Yeah, there's the Apatosaurus is glitching out, but I like the Herosaurus. It's just like a, I don't know, I kind of really like the more early dinosaur species, I guess. Like, almost like the proto-stegosaur in a way that you could look at these guys. Although, truth be told, I'm not actually sure of, like, the fossil dating. I just kind of think evolutionary-wise, these guys with the little plates, I'd imagine, came first, and then, say, like, through... I kind of wonder if it would have been, like, say... what would that be called? Like, sexual competition in a way? Sort of like how deer... or female deer look for deer with, like, the larger antlers. Maybe that's how the Stegosaurus has evolved, is going by the plates, maybe that just kind of eventually grew large enough to be Stegosaurus. Or evolved towards Stegosaurus from a point. Again, I'm just kind of talking out my rear a little bit with some of these ideas or theories, but when you kind of think about more modern stuff, when you look at how, like, the competition for mates and that has influenced a lot of displays, it kind of makes me wonder if maybe that's where a lot of some of these things have come from, too. But yeah, that is them. The Apatosauruses are out. We did see them a little bit in the Jurassic Classic. I think they're Camarasaurus edited. Although the tail... yeah, you can kind of see there's, like, the break in the back there. It's not awful, but depending on, like, the time, it just really stands out. So we've seen Herosaurus, we've seen Apatosaurus. I don't know if we've seen Diplodocus. We'll get a few of them out, and I'll see if there's anything else after them. We've seen Mountosaurus. Maiasaura is one that's... I mean, we did have just last exercise and last episode, but it doesn't hurt to get out a nice, like, big thing like this to see them all. Maybe what I'll even do is... we'll let the herbivores enjoy a little bit of peace for the rest of this episode, and then next episode we'll start pumping out the carnivores just to throw chaos into this. Oh god. I was talking about how the Apatosaurus wasn't too bad for jank. This one is just the Jankosaurus. Like, the neck and where it connects to the body, it's like you took a ruler almost to have these flat stretches of the neck. Yeah, You might have been one of the early model edits, because you just stand out so much of being so wrong looking. The strange thing is, the textures actually work pretty well. It's the model and how they're stretched to fit it that's the bad part. Like, Maiasaura here is a prime example of a pretty well done skeleton edit and texture edit. Because I quite like the speckling? No. I'm trying to think of what it is, because it kind of reminds me of, like, the poison dart frog, where it's, like, these little splotches, or blotches in a way. Nope. Going for a little run. Yeah, so everybody's still getting... Oh, okay, so we've still got the last Diplodocus coming out, and the last Maiasaura. Yeah, Site B was one of the ones where you just kind of put out whatever you'd like, and I guess you could sort of think of it as like, uh-oh. I think the Pinoplosaurus just smacked the yeah, he got smacked by the tail there. No, he's getting really beat up. I want to see, are they... they're not overly spreading out as much. I guess because they do have fresh water and all the trees and everything here, they don't really care too greatly. And yeah, that is them out. Let's see about another one. Okay, so Maiasaura... No, Crethosaurus was in the base game. Torosaurus was in the base game. Tyrannosaurus definitely was. Iguanodon is an interesting one, although, truth be told, that one is really obvious to see it's a model edit. Okay. Was Tenontosaurus that big? You know what? It probably was, and the reason why I'm thinking it's smaller is because I've watched, like, some gameplay of the Isle, and it's hard to get, like, a scale towards humans in that game at times. Oh yeah, let's see Iguanodon. Because this one... nice sentiment behind the idea, but... yeah, definitely limited on how you could put it in. I do have to give them credit, they did try to give, like, the thumbs that Iguanodon does have. You can see the little spikes down there. It's just, I think they used... it looks like they probably used the Tyrannosaurus skeleton because of the way there's like, this gap in the back sail. Maybe if they used a Montosaurus, it would have been a bit better. But at least it is an attempt to bring it out, and I think Iguanodon was, like, the first dinosaur ever, like, described by science. I know there's, like, a claim to fame it has beyond just, like, the spike thumbs. I might be mistaken on that, but I feel like that's, like, the first really described by science, or officially described by science in a way. And then we do have some of the Tenontosaurus coming out, so we'll take a preview just as it's leaving the hatchery, just so we don't have the trees and that in the way. There you are, slowly making your way out. Yeah, somebody... I think he's been either going to the gym a little too hard, or he's been on a bit of something for getting some performance boosters, because those are some thick shoulders and thighs on it. Like, is there another one? Yeah. Okay, no, I'm trying... yeah, like, look at the size of those... like, especially the back leg there, but the front, it's just, like, super bulked up biceps from just, like, looking at it. These are some interesting ideas to have tried to bring the dinosaurs into JPOG, but also goes to show just, like, the age of the mod itself and the limits and stuff of what they could do. So we've got a huge mess here. I'm not sure if we have more to add or not, so we'll keep going through to see. Nope, doesn't look like it. So yeah, we'll probably just give ourselves a little bit more time here just looking at all these, the forgotten herbivores. Out of the herbivores, I'd probably say the best ones done are the Wahurosaurus here. And... the Apatosaurus, it's not bad until the tail moves. Like, once the tail moves, you see, like, the 90 or really sharp angle that just looks like the broken, or the tail broke. But other than that, they aren't too badly done. Yeah, I think Maiasaura and Wahurosaurus are probably the best of the forgotten dinosaurs. At least out of the two herbivores. Like, the small herbivores and the large herbivores. Diplodocus, again, just because of how, like, looking from a distance here at that, yeah, you see the model edits pretty badly. Iguanodon, again, I feel like if you use the different skeleton, it might look a bit better, because the Tyrannosaurus crest is just so obvious it was there. Snontosaurus is not bad from a distance, I think, but once you see it more in motion and you get up close to see, like, the Hulk arms and the super thighs, I guess thunder thighs would be better, you kind of see where it's like, yeah, okay, that one's got a bit more roughness to it. Chasmosaurus, from a distance, again, not too bad, but you can still, like, from the back, even at a distance, you can see some issues with the neck and frill. It's nice to have had these extra options if you wanted. Oh. You look like you're just going off, I guess, because of how noisy and chaotic it is. Now some of this... Yeah, they're starting to spread out a little bit more, which is nice to see. And it's going to be good, too, because next episode we'll start going through all the carnivores and just plunking them out. I don't know if I'll do, like, 4 carnivores released like I did the herbivores. Maybe we'll just do 2. Try to keep it a little more fair there. But with having used the GEP and the Forgotten mods, I figured I should at least do an overview of all the dinosaurs in the Forgotten. The GEP is more so a systems update, or a systems mod, where it changes a lot of things like prices, values, etc. And I think it's because the two aren't really built to be compatible, why there was a lot of issues when it came to using both in, like, the Port in a Storm exercise. Because, yeah, the pricing was pretty hard to work with. And I think also, like, trying to get our rating up, it seemed like it took longer than it should have, considering everything we did have in the park. Because we had quite a few 5-star animals, a lot of 4-star animals. I didn't think it would take, like, close to 3 years to get us to 4 stars like it did. But it is what it is, and we at least gave it a shot and a go. Probably if I were to do, like, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis with no mods or only the GEP, I might have been able to get that mission or the exercise done more properly. But I've had 30... Well, this will be 32 episodes of JPOG, so I think it's time for a little bit of a break and to change our schedule on the channel up a little bit. Get a new series on the go. I'll probably take a break for a week, just covering a game that I love, but it's not really got a lot of content to last super long. So it's going to be like just a little fun series I'll put out. Let you guys see how it's played, give you my thoughts on it, and I'll try to figure out what I'll do for a more main series after that. But I don't think there's too much more to show off. Everybody's just running around, roaming, doing their own thing. There's not really any other buildings to go over, because I guess we could look at security if there's anything like tombstones we want to put down. Yeah, is there actually, like, anything to them? No, you can't actually, like... I mean, I can try to zoom in a bit on them. There's, like, a little bit of marking, but I don't think it's anything you can, like, really make out or read. And then, how are... Okay, so then they can be deleted. Yeah, so I thought I'd just show that off, because that was one thing that's always been in the menu, but I didn't think we could actually put down because of how the icon was, like, faded out. Like, I'll bring that back up. Yeah, like, you look at it, you don't think you can actually, like, do anything with it, but you could. And then there's actions. Oh, that's kind of interesting. You have declare and cancel as their own icons in Site B, whereas you could only, like, toggle when we're in the exercise. Yeah, there's nothing new amenities-wise that was added, nothing really attraction-wise. The cleaner station is what it is. This is just what it was. And now everybody's kind of found a spot to calm down and get some sleep. Oh, wow. you, for whatever reason, decided to go exploring. Although, I feel like he's bugged out again, because he needs water, he needs sleep, but doesn't actually want to get either of them. The poor dino's got a little bit of brain damage in the test tubes, I think. Yeah, I'll just do a quick save here. And then next episode, we'll start and pump out the carnivores and see what chaos emerges from there. But thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure in the comments right down below. Until I do see you in the next video, survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive. To take care and stay alive. I forgot I don't have a third thing for this series.